So let's continue. Okay, all right. So let's start. I hope that it is audible and visible to everyone. If it is audible and visible, you just reply me yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So in previous lecture, we people have also discussed that what preparation you should do prior interview. So before interview, what you people are expected to do. You people have to read your CV or resume, application letter, and which skills are demanded that you people have to find out from the advertisement or from the, let's say, recruiter, or let's say from TP office or something like this. These are the sources which give you information about the placement. Then next thing you people will do, it will be about knowing the company. So you should find out a lot of information, or as much as possible you people have to collect the information, and that you people can collect from different sources like a website of the company that you people have to visit, and then you people have to find out when that company was started, who started, and then their governing body, etc., their products, branches, and so many things you people try to collect from the website. Then you people can just obtain annual reports. They're also available at the website, and try to go through those annual reports, so you people will get that how that company is doing, how much they are in profit, what is their annual turnover, and something like this, that you people will come to know. Then next is business newspapers, magazines, if it is there, and any news is published in business newspaper or any magazine is there, and there is something information about the company. If you found it, if you come across it, you people try to collect it. Then next is directly contact the employees. If you know someone who is working in that particular company, it may be your friend, it may be your senior, it may be your let's say family member, relatives, or someone, neighbor, etc. You can contact them and try to find out more information as you can. Okay, so that much we people have done in previously, so we are going to move henceforth. Okay, so let me see that whether that Govind Bhusnar, is it audible? Govind Bhusnar, Pooja Shinde, is it audible to you? I think that Govind Bhusnar has not connected with mic. Is it audible? If you are not going to reply, you will be removed. Govind Bhusnar. It shows that you are connected with uh, only, or disconnected from audio. Sahil also. So D14 and D17. You people reply me. Okay, fine. So when you people get connected, so people have to connect with your audio so that it should be, you should be in position to listen. If you are not connected with audio, you will not come to know what the teacher is saying. Then let's go to the next slide. It says what information you are collecting that should be related to this main production or service. Okay, so you people just take an example of any company, and you people try to find out that company is about what is the production. So in our day-to-day life, there are so many products that people come across. Let's say you have pen, pencil, mobile, It's notebooks are there, so many things are there. And apart from that, there are some services also, like you people are using telecom services, maybe Idea, Jio, Vodafone is there. You people are using banking, hotels, and let's say movies, theaters, etc. So these are all services. And there are some products. So you people try to find out the company in which you are trying to apply, what is their main production or which is their main service, that you people try to find out. Then already I have told you about this, that how much is their annual sales, then how much they are in profit, and how much they're having dividend. So what is dividend? Do you know dividend? So dividend is nothing but it is also part of profit, which is again distributed among the all stakeholders. So let's say there are 100 stakeholders. So stakeholders means the people who are related or who are maybe shareholders, who may be employees, who may be anybody. So there are 100 shareholders, and there is profit of 100 rupees. Okay, so that profit of 100 rupees is divided among all these 100 stakeholders. So each one of them is going to get 1 rupees. Okay, so that dividend can be in form of, let's say, shares. It can be in prizes. It can be in the form of cash. It can be in the form of anything which is given to the users or stakeholders. Then another point that you people have to find out about this company is the competitors. Who are the competitors of that company? Okay, so I think that in previous class I have asked you to name some of the companies. So similarly, you shouldn't just try to find out names of companies, but you try to find out which are other companies in the race, which are other companies which are competitors, which are rivals, or which are also working in the same field, or they may be just ahead or just back of your company in which you are going to apply. So people try to know some information about competitors of that particular company. Then next, you should know the area of operation. So what is this area of operation? Area of operation, it means that in which sector this particular company is working. So area of operation can be, let's say, it can be automobile, it can be production, it can be service, it can be, let's say, textile, it can be different fields of business. That is called area of operation. So in which field that company is working, if it is in let's say production, if it is in manufacturing, if it is in different kinds of areas, if that company is working, that you people try to find out. Then next, you people try to get information about any new product or any new service which is launched by the company recently. Let's say 1 month back, 3 months back, 6 months back, any new product is launched by the company. So in that case, you people have to take information about that product or service, or you people just try to see what are the features, price, and how they are useful for the people, society, etc. So try to get maximum information about the product or service which is recently launched. So that much information you people have to collect about the company, because after all, this is the company in which you are going to work. So you should know maximum information. You people try to get maximum uh, each and every sector, each and every field about that company. You try to get information, because if you get selected, you'll be feel confident, or at the time of interview also you will feel confident about the company, because I can see, I can learn so many things about this company. So I'm sure that I will get selected in this company. That confidence will be there when you people will find out a lot of information about the company. That time it will help you to boost your confidence also. So try to get maximum information. So this is part of the preparation that you people have to do prior to interview. Then next we people will talk now. During an interview, employers evaluate. So what does it mean during an interview? Now, before interview, people have discussed what you should do and how you should do. Then during an interview, the employers, they're looking in a candidate, which skills they're looking in a candidate, that we people will try to find out. Okay. So employers means who? Employee and employers, there are two words. So who is employee and who is employer? Tell me. Employer is who? Reply. Who is employee, who is employer? Who is employee, who is employer?
जॉब म्हणजे एम्प्लॉयर आणि जॉब म्हणजे एम्प्लॉई.
येस, जॉब देणारा असतो तो एम्प्लॉयर असेल आणि जॉब करणारा जो व्यक्ती असेल दॅट विल बी एम्प्लॉई. सो एम्प्लॉयर्स व्हेन दे वॉन्टेड टू हायर सम कॅन्डिडेट्स, दे वॉन्टेड टू हायर सम people for their company, they look, they check, they evaluate, they assess, they judge the following things. So which things? First of all, they will look if the candidate is having self-confidence or not. So very important that you should have self-confidence. And when you people will get self-confidence, when you people will have self-confidence, when you have prepared a lot, when you have worked for your communication skills. Okay, you people have just tried improve your communication skills. You have worked for skills also. In skills, again, technical skills and soft skills that you people are working on. Apart from that, you people are working on your appearance. Okay, so if you are just doing great work in these things, in that case, I'm sure that you people will feel confident. Okay, so they look, they see if the candidate is having self-confidence or not. So you should be confident while appearing for an interview. But in fact, what happens that lots of candidates, when they try to face interview, so that time they are very nervous, they're very having so let's say fear, and there is anxiety. They think that I'm not prepared, my grammar is not good, my communication is not good, which questions they will ask, and if I'm not able to answer, then what, and something like this. So there is a kind of thinking like this which affects their performance in an interview. So therefore, if you're prepared, you people have worked well with all those things, then you people will feel confident. If suppose that I'm prepared and I'm going to face an interview, I'll feel that anyway that I have prepared, I have searched a lot of information, I have read a lot, and I have just also tried to sharpen my skills also. So I'm very confident, and I'm going to answer all the questions. And if there is any question or unexpected question, that also I will try to manage. And if I'm not able to answer, in that case, I'm going to say, sir, I don't know answer of this question. This way you will prepare your mind. But see, if you are not going to do anything, if you are not preparing anything, and if you are going to face an interview, you are not going to feel confident. So there should be self-confidence within you as you are going to face an interview, as you are going to appear for an interview. Then next, the employers, they will look for interpersonal skills. So what are our interpersonal skills here? So this is part of, I think, soft skills. So interpersonal skills, they are nothing but your ability, how you communicate with other people, whether you are just talking with other people or not. If you talk, how do you talk, and how do you maintain your relationship? If you are giving and taking some information, then in that case, it will be called interpersonal skills. Okay. And if you want to communicate with other people, what is required? Next thing is that fluency in English. Very important, which I always talk, which I always tell you people that you people have to work on this. You people have to think that how you can improve your fluency in English. How it can be improved? With practice only. So as you people are in your first year, from first year itself, start communicating English, start learning something in English, start listening something in English, start reading something in English, or you people can do whatever that is in English. And then you people will feel that yes, I can speak English. The thoughts and the ideas which are coming in my mind, I can express them in English. And if you started expressing them in English, then that will increase or that will improve your fluency in English. So this way you can bring your fluency. I have seen that so many students, they try to speak, but what happens that there are a lot of problems. First of all, what happens, you know, that there comes thought. What happens that in their mind, there comes thought. Okay, so when thought comes, then these students, they need to express it and they wanted to express. That time these people, they have to think of the words, proper words. So they have to think about the words. Now I have to choose words, which words I will choose. And there is, we find it a difficulty that we are not able to get all the words immediately because we are not practicing it, and so we find it difficult to select words. And again, our vocabulary is also very short, so it takes time. Then if you find somehow, if you found words to express your thought, then the next question comes of that making up sentence. So how you're going to put those words into sentence. And again, there is you people have to think of next grammar. So which tense I have to use, which type of sentence I have to use, whether it will be assertive sentence, if it is interrogative, how I'm going to change it, or something like this. So many people have to stuck here. Many people have to spend their time thinking in these things. That thought is there. They know, I know that any question is asked and answer is ready. But for that ready answer, that you people have to think of choice of words. If you have plenty of vocabulary, if your vocabulary collection is more, you can easily collect some of the words from that vocabulary. Then if you have to have some practice of communication, if you practice it a lot, then there is no need to think of that how you're going to make sentence or grammar or something like this, because that practice will help you that you can easily make sentence into the form that you wanted, and you can put all those words into sentence. And again, you need not to worry about grammar also, because subconsciously you people will pick up grammar also. And there is no need to think now I have to use simple present tense. So in simple present tense, what structure comes, then subject is there, and there is a verb is in first form or base form, and then object or something like this. And then you are putting your words into that structure, and then you're using. So that time the next person might have reached ahead of you in communication, and still you are struggling to express one thought. So that should not happen. So if you want to avoid all those problems, if you wanted to go away from these problems, then you need to bring fluency in your English, and that fluency will be brought if you speak it daily. So I will recommend here that all you people have to speak English every day with your friends. Only friends will help you, not even I also, because I may not be with you all the time. I'm just conducting 2 hours lecture per week. And if you think that I'm going to teach you how to speak English, it is not possible. The people who are around you, the maximum time you spend uh, with them, you people need to communicate in English. And I think that only friends, because at family it is not possible. You cannot use English with family members. They will not talk with you. They will think that you are just becoming smart in front of them, or uh, in Marathi you people lay shining mara lagla kay. So something like that, the comments you people are going to get from them. So don't try it at home or with your family members. So but friends, they, I'm sure that because they are also in need. So you want to improve your English, your friends also wanted to improve English. So there is a need, and when there is need, you people will cooperate each other. So you will help your friend will help you in this regard. So daily you try to talk to your friends for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever time is possible. But maintain consistency daily. I say daily, every day you people communicate for some time with your friends in English, because that is only way to bring fluency in your English. Maybe right now you are speaking English, but it is not fluent English. So how to bring fluency? With practice only. Again, I'm repeating the step. Then see next, listen attentively. So the interviewer or employers, let's say, they'll see whether you are listening attentively or not. When they ask a question, so that time you people have to listen carefully and understand those questions. So if you're not going to understand those questions, and in that case, there will be a difficulty for you. If you did not understand the question, you'll be in confusion. Now what to say? How to ask them, sir, please repeat the question. Okay, but you can say, if it is once, it is okay to say, sir, I did not get your question, or I did not understand your question, or I did not listen. That can happen for first time. But say if it is happening second time, twice, thrice, if more than 3 times it is happening, then immediately you will be just thrown out of that cabin, and you have to be ensured that you are rejected, sure, because you're not listening attentively. So you people have to listen attentively, try to understand the question which is asked to you, and I'm sure if you understand the question properly, then you are able to answer that question anyway. But if you did not understand the question, then it becomes very difficult for you to answer this question. So try to listen carefully and understand the question which is asked to you, and answer to the questions asked by the interview, that you people have to take care. So the interviewers or employers, they are looking for your interpersonal skills as well. Then next point is that you people have to be honest. So what do you mean by be honest? So be honest while answering. While answering in the interview, even if you don't know the answer of for certain questions, be honest in answer to the interviewer. So here I would like to tell you people that there are some candidates that they try to make fool to the interviewer, because they think that they can manage, they can handle, and they may think that interviewers, they don't know anything what I'm going to answer, but it's not the fact, because they are the expert, or they are the, let's say, they have worked, they have experience in that field. So you cannot make them fool by answering anything. So if you don't know really answer, admit it, sir, I really don't know answer of this question, so I will try to find more information about this question and I will be ready. So this kind of honesty you people have to show. But if you're going to give a fake answer or false answer, so that time they may think that you're not an honest guy, so your rejection will be again sure. So sometimes that what happens, it is not written exam. So what happens in written exam, let's say there is a question for 10 marks, or let's say 15 marks, 16 marks sometimes, uh, so theoretical question, and here candidates can do anything because they don't answer, but still they can write the answer of this question minimum 4 pages, because you can stretch your imagination and your writing is fantastic, I can understand. But in this interview you cannot do such things. Okay, so you people have to be honest if you don't know the answer of this question. So these are the some of the things or ideas that you people have to just consider, that the interviewers will look within a candidate. So you people can be ready regarding this. So apart from this, there are some other skills, I will say, or let's say qualities also, that are expected within a candidate, that he or she should possess if you are going to face an interview. So out of this, already we have talked about this communication. So let me know, is it visible? Whiteboard? Is whiteboard visible to you?
Yes, sir.
So first thing, communication that you people have to improve on, and apart from that, you people can just learn how to work in team. So what does mean teamwork? Somebody tell me, what is teamwork? Reply me. What is teamwork? Is it difficult to talk about teamwork? So somebody should reply, what is teamwork?
We have to prepare a topic in the same point of view.
Okay, so it is not always about the topic, but let's say work also. Right now you are a student, so you can think in that way, that any topic that you are thinking in the same way. But let's imagine that we are going to become employees. तुम्ही कुठेतरी काम करणार, job करणार आहात. So at that place, you people will be in team. You will not be in isolation. You cannot work alone. There are some other people also. So when you are going to work, it should be unity. It should be one team, and together you are just sharing ideas, and then you are completing the work. So there is a lot of things that you people can share, and you can do great work when only you people are in team. If you think that there are 10 people and they're working in separately, there will not be great results. But let's say there are 10 people and they're working together, I'm sure that there will be great result, because these 10 people is a team, and that team can just do anything. So you should people just try to learn how to work in team. So okay, so what you can do, just for as a student, You people just try to be with your friends, try to discuss with them, try to find out some of the answers, solutions, etc. together by discussing, and try to help them, try to motivate them, try to complete their work by guiding them. Don't complete yourself. If your friend's work is there and if you're completing it, that is not way to help your friends. Your friend should do it and you're just guiding him how to do and what are the problems that you're trying to solve him with him. So this way you people try to work in team. So that is another skill, or let's say technique, which is expected that a candidate should have. Apart from that, you people have to think how to develop your leadership qualities. So what are leadership qualities? Teamwork and leadership qualities, they are related, not same, but related. How they're related? When you are a team, you get a chance to show your leadership qualities. How you can show your leadership qualities? So as I told you that you're working together, so you can be ahead of all other group members by completing your own work, and then you are just helping other friends, just cooperating with them, coordinating with them. You're trying to find out what are their difficulties, maybe in at workplace, maybe their personal difficulties also. You're trying to solve those difficulties. You are motivating them. Very important. When you can become a leader, if you have the ability to motivate others, I'm sure that you can become leader and you can make them work. Another thing, because employees are not in position to work. Suppose that you are at work and your boss giving you work and you're completing it. So it is not like that. The boss and employees, the relations is something like that. Always boss is saying that my employees are not working, and employees are thinking about boss that boss is not good, he's always complaining about us. So something like this. So in this case, what you can do, you just try to make your team or your group members, let them work, let them complete their work, and you help them, motivate them, guide them. And in that case, you can have leadership qualities. So these leadership qualities you people can showcase at the time of interview. So if you're saying that my strength is leadership qualities, you have to prove with some of the examples you need to give or experiences you need to share how you have leadership qualities. So you have to tell that I was the project group leader, or I was a captain of cricket team, or something like that, or there was an event in our department, so that time I was the coordinator of some things, something like that. You people have to do. Actually, it should not be that only you're telling that I'm having leadership qualities, but actually you cannot explain it. In that case, they will understand that you're just telling that you have leadership qualities, but you did not have leadership qualities. So try to develop your leadership qualities within yourself. That will help you to uh, face an interview, and at workplace and in your personal life also, these leadership qualities will help you. Then next quality that you people will try to bring in your personality, that will be flexibility. So tell me, what is flexibility, or I will call it adaptability. So what is flexibility? Do you know? Adaptability, adaptable, flexible.
Working in any condition.
Yes. Yes, you're ready to change. In simple words, what? You're ready to change. So suppose that if there is need to be changed, then in that case, you can bring changes in the system. First of all, you can make changes in the system. And if it is not possible to make changes in the system, in that case, you can make changes within yourself. Okay. So suppose that every day you are going to job at 9 o'clock. But say because of some reasons, for 1 week you need to go at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have to work late up to, let's say, 10 o'clock in the evening. So in that case, you cannot say no, my duty is I have to go at 9 o'clock, so I cannot come in the afternoon, and I cannot work late in the evening. Here you have to be flexible, that you're changing yourself, you're just flexible, you're adaptable. And if any new rule comes, any new changes comes, any new policy comes, you are getting it immediately. So that you people have to bring within yourself. You have to be flexible. You cannot be rigid at workplace. Remember, if you're rigid, then it will be very difficult for you as well as for your boss, for your colleagues also. You cannot remain rigid. Then next, you people can think of the quality, that is problem solving. What is problem solving? At your workplace, it is not going to be that you're working every day smoothly and there is no any problem. There will not be any workplace like this. At your workplace, there is going to be some problem. It is going to emerge at every day also. So in that case, what you can do, you people need to find out how you people can find out a solution to these problems. Okay, and if you think, because if you're creative, if you're imaginative, in that case what you can do, you people can find out a solution to that problem, and if you're able to find such solutions, then you are a problem solver. That you people have to just think. And related to this again, you people can think about creativity also. What is creativity, you tell me? You people have studied it in last semester, creativity and design thinking. So what is creativity? Don't mean
Create something new.
yes, creating something new. Okay. So we have to think in a different way, and we have to maybe any work, whatever the work you're doing, it may be your routine work, but you have to do it in a new way. That will be your creativity. So people need to bring your creativity also. Okay, just 1 minute. Yes, sir. It's just 1 minute. Okay, let's continue. So you try to bring creativity within yourself. Then next is interpersonal skills. Already I have told you what are interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are nothing but how you people can just deal. Instead of dealing, I'll say how to talk to people around you. So at your workplace, there are going to be other colleagues, co-workers. So how you talk with them, that will be your interpersonal skills. Then next, you people have to be ready for this. So time management. I think that this is quite simple for all of you. So I will ask you how many of you are good time managers. You people can raise your hands. Those who are good time managers. You think. If you think that you are good time managers, you raise your hands. There. So what is time management? First of all, try to understand what is time management. Time management is nothing but after this lecture, 1:30, 2:30. So time management, yes, Rohan, you're right. You can lower your voice. Time management means that suppose that you have, let's say, 10 hours, 10 hours in your hand, okay? And within that 10 hours, you people have to complete 10 different tasks. And you have to prioritize those tasks and you have to complete them within that 10 hours. So you are just making a plan and accordingly you are completing all those work. So that is simply time management. You are utilizing your time in a better way. You are not wasting it. So this way you people have to adopt this skill, time management. Then let's talk about next skill, that is work ethics. So what is work ethic? Work ethics is nothing but what should you do at your workplace and what you shouldn't do. So let's take an example that you are at job, let's say, and you went to the canteen, let's say for coffee, and you're expected to spend 10 minutes there. But what you're doing there, you have taken your coffee and still you're just chatting there with your colleagues. Let's say you're spending 30 minutes there and you're not going back to your work. So this is not work ethics. If you're going to, let's say coffee, you can go and you can have a short break and you can come back. But if you're spending a lot of time in doing other things, for another example, we people can take that, let's say, you wanted to take printouts, so you're using print pages at your workplace. So these print pages you're using of company or organization, but you're using it for your personal work. So you shouldn't use any infrastructure of the institute for your personal work. So what you should do and what you shouldn't do, that should be will be here in work ethics. So if people try to understand better work ethics also. Then there is customer service. I will not talk much about customer service. That you people will understand when you people will be actually working, that how you people have to provide satisfactory service. Because whatever you are providing, it may be, let's say that you are just having production of mobiles, and the people who are using mobiles, they should be happy with your product. They should not be just abusing you for the service that you are giving. So you have to provide better service. The next is motivation and enthusiasm. So what is motivation and enthusiasm? That you have to be motivated and you have to motivate others as well. So in motivation, you have to be self-motivated as well as you have to motivate other people also. So the people who are around you, to them you have to motivate, and you have to be enthusiastic, energetic. There should be always eagerness within you, that you are ready to face new situations, challenges, problems, etc. So be motivated and try to motivate, and be enthusiastic, be energetic. Okay, then we'll go to the next. That will be, let's say, negotiation. So what is negotiation? Anybody? Do you have any idea? People can note it down or take screenshot of these skills, because they are very important, and you people should think, if you're going to be professional, you have to be part of these skills. So what is negotiation?
Not ready to do a work.
Sorry, Rohan, once again.
We are not ready to do a work.
So a negotiation is not like this. Negotiation means something that you are going to settle a business transaction or something like this. I'll give an example. Suppose that you wanted to buy vegetables. So you are in market and you went to a vegetable seller there, and you ask, what is the price of this vegetable? And then that vegetable seller replied that this vegetable costs 30 rupees. So when you listen the price 30 rupees, you think that 30 rupees is too much and this will not be affordable to me. So you'll just ask that vegetable seller, 30 rupees is too much price. I cannot pay 30 rupees. I will pay you 20 rupees. Okay. And in that case, that vegetable seller says 20 rupees is too less. So that vegetable seller says, this is too less and I cannot sell this vegetable in 20 rupees. And in that case, you say, okay, let's forget about 30 or let's forget about 20. I will pay you 25 rupees. And then that vegetable seller becomes ready to sell that vegetable in 25 rupees. And here you're also happy that you got it at 25 rupees, and that vegetable seller also is satisfied because he sold it in 25 rupees. So that is negotiation. So what you're doing here, you're using your skills and you're making things final. So that is negotiation. So in business, a lot of situations occurs that you people have to settle deals with people, and let's say organizations are there that you people have to finalize deals with the help of negotiation. Then let's talk about next skill that you people can adopt, and that will be conflict resolution. So problem solving and conflict resolution, these are different things. You just try to understand. So when it is conflict resolution, you people have to understand that at workplace there is going to be conflict. Conflict means there is a kind of some, let's say, quarrel or some fight or some differences of opinion could be there. And in case of people, they're having opposite views and let's say a quarrel in short. So if there is quarrel, what can be done? How it can be settled? How it can be resolved? So there you people have to use strategic planning. You need to understand two people. He's saying it is not like this. He's saying it is not like this, and they're just blaming each other. In that case, you are just making both of them calm, and you are just finding a solution to their conflict, and they're just uniting once again. So such kind of fights or quarrels, not such fights or quarrels where physically fights or quarrels, but verbally, let's say verbal conflicts are that you are going to solve of the people at workplace. So that also people try to understand if there is any conflict arises, how you are going to resolve it. Then next you people try to understand how you are going to handle your stress. So all human beings, I will say, they feel stress. As a student, you feel stress. As an employee, you feel stress. As a human beings, I told you that everybody has to feel stress. But when there is stress, it is going to affect your productivity. Let's say if you are into stress, you cannot work in a better way. So therefore, you people have to understand that how you are going to handle your stress, what you can do. So in your free time, let's say you can listen to music or watch some videos, comedy videos, or you can just hang out with your friends, or you can go to a picnic, something like this you people can do if you wanted to handle your stress. So how you can handle your stress, that is important. So try to find out ways which will reduce your stress and you can be out of that stress, because it affects your productivity, it affects your work. So how we are going to handle your stress. Then next one we people will talk about confidence. Already we people have discussed about that. The people have to be confident, and it has to be seen, or people need to realize that you're confident. Then next people will talk about decision making. People need to take decisions at certain times. If you're a decision maker, you have to take decisions, but sometimes you're not a decision maker, okay? And in that case also, you people are expected to take decisions, and you have to prove that what decisions you have taken, they're right. So learn how you can take decisions. Then next, you people have to be honest. Already we people have talked about this. That has to be reflected honesty through your behavior and in your thoughts. And there are many, but last I would like to talk about presentation skills. So minimum these skills you people can think of that you need to adapt to them, you need to imbibe them, you need to learn them. Communication, how you can work in team, leadership qualities, flexibility, problem solving, creativity, interpersonal skills, time management, work ethics, customer service. You can skip this customer service because right now you need not to think about customer service. Motivation and enthusiasm, negotiation, conflict resolution, handling stress, confidence, decision making, honesty, presentation skills. These are some of the things that employers look in a candidate. So people can just try to show, because question will not be direct. So tell us how is your communication, tell us that how you are going to work in team. So do you have leadership qualities? Nobody's going to ask you such questions, but whatever questions will be asked, while answering those questions, so people need to show that you have communication, you can work in team, you have leadership qualities, you are flexible, you are problem solver, you are creative. This has to be shown. Okay, so try to remember that nobody's going to ask you, are you creative? Nobody will ask you. But if you're creative, you have to show through your answers, through your acts, through your actions. You need to show that you're creative. Okay, so that you people can do. You can take screenshot or you need to note this down. Okay, so should I close this? Should we go back to the presentation? Reply me. Should I just?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So we'll go back to the presentation. So these are the things that employers are looking for. So I think that today we are going to conduct some, let's say, discussion. Okay. So I will stop this, and we people will have discussion on the topic: should we have uniform or not? So all you people just be ready. We'll have discussion of let's say 5 to 8 minutes, and then we people will stop. That's last few minutes are there. So meanwhile, I have to confirm absent numbers also. So I will just announce uh, absent numbers at the end. So let me tell you, 1 and 2 is not there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are present. Then 8 is not there. 9, 10, 11 is there. 12 is not there. 13 is there. 14 not. 15, 16, 17. So just confirm if your roll number is not in absent numbers. If you are present, just say you are present. Roll number 1, 2, 8, 12, 14, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 24, 29, 32, 33, 34, 42, 52, 53, 56, 60, 64. If anybody is present, you just say you're there. Okay, so all are present. Then let's continue discussion.
61, sir.
Yes, 61, you are there. You people can start the discussion because we have last 5 minutes only. So within that 5 minutes, we need to finish. Should we have uniform in college or not?
Sir, can I start?
Yes.
Hi, friends. Today we are going to have a group discussion on is the uniforms are important or not. I think uniforms are a great team building reasons for students or any staff in our place. Due to uniform, togetherness and unity of students or workers increases. When all students wear same uniform, they think they are same and they can become friends. The major benefit of uniform is that they do not waste their time on what should they wear today. Because of uniform, they are now saving their time, and also students will be far away from various fashions trends. Wearing a uniform brings the feeling of equality among the students. These are some benefits of uniforms. Hence, I think that uniform is important. So other can say their thinking. Over.
Because when we wear the uniform, it's a framework
Yes,
for
Nikita.
studying together.
Okay, Akanksha, you continue. Akanksha, you continue.
It also includes the sense.
Yes, Nikita, you continue.
I agree. Uniforms are important to college because uniform gives identity for students, connecting them to their school and their classmates. School uniforms also teach students how to dress well. After graduation, they head to the work world and have to wear collared shirts and long pants. They will be comfortable doing so. And more the students don't like a uniform. They are uncomfortable in uniforms. Uniforms are nothing but that you teaches how to be tidy, fresh in our professional work, and to be in self-respect with others who are our teachers or our friends. Uniform in colleges should be compulsory for students because in college students come from different classes. Will have no shame and pride. Over.
I think that there must be uniform to college or school going students because in my opinion the word uniform itself indicates that something is common or unique, and due to that uniform no one can make difference among the students by the point of their clothes or status, and also no one is going to decide whether he or she is rich or poor, as well as it is also easy to identify that particular students belongs to particular school or college. Over.
My also opinion is uniform have advantages as well as disadvantages also. For poor students, the main issues, dress issues, is also available.
Okay, all right. So we people will stop here. So in today's Vaibhavi, Prerna, Nikita, then Akanksha, all you people have done it. In fact, because of short of time, we people have to close it. I think that you people have to just remind me before at least 15 minutes so that we can give proper time. Okay, so we'll stop here today. So should I end this meeting from my side?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll meet in next class, and in next class also we people will try to have discussion.